All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Tea with Doug G. If you don't know me, my name is Doug Gooden, and y'all, this week I'm very happy to introduce my incredible guest for the week, Mr. Houston Vanlandingham. Houston, welcome to the show. Why don't you take just a second, tell the folks who you are, what you do, and all that jazz. The floor is yours, sir.
Hi, my name is Houston Vanlandingham. I am a first year here at UGA. I was involved with DT's production of Hunchback, rest in peace, and
Yes.
I'm loving college so far. It's a good experience. I'm from Valdosta, Georgia, which is way down south, if you don't know. And yeah, that's me.
Very nice. Very nice. Yes, rest in peace to Hunchback. But that is where I met Houston. As you can tell, if you just listen to the first 30 seconds of this show, he's got an incredible deep bass voice, which lends itself quite well to the role of Frollo. But yeah. Well, Houston, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive into these questions, okay?
Yes.
All right. First question comes to us courtesy of friend of the show, Mr. Ben Tankersley. Ben wants to know, Houston, what is your show off dish to cook? What's the dish that you cook just when you want to show off to folks?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. I actually I enjoy cooking in my spare time. I watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay stuff.
We love to see it.
And so, whenever he's yelling at people on my screen, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to learn from their mistakes. My favorite thing to cook is steak because I'm a very, meat loving person. I love cooking a filet with a side of Alfredo fettuccine. It's the best.
Very nice, very nice. And given the fact that you are also a fan of Gordon Ramsay, I take it you always know where the lamb sauce is, correct?
Yes. I think that's a life goal is to find the lamb sauce for all of us. We all
Gotcha.
have a lamb sauce that we have to get to.
Words of wisdom from Houston Vanlandingham. Yeah. Also, if you don't get the lamb sauce joke, just go watch a Gordon Ramsay thing. You'll pick it up. You'll pick it up really quick. All right. Well, thank you, Ben, for the opening question. And Ben actually brought us our second question too, which is, Houston, if money were no issue, would you want to live abroad? And the follow-up question to that is, if yes, where?
So, usually people would go for something like, the beach or like super metropolitan and whatnot. I would love to hopefully retire into somewhere in the mountains. I quite love it. The cool temperatures, like mountain lakes, that kind of stuff. It's something that I would very much love to do. And hopefully I can do that one day.
Any particular area, any particular continent or something like that?
Europe, I've just seen pictures because I've never been to Europe, but Europe looks beautiful. Like I'm not even going to name a mountain range because if I name a mountain range, it'll be wrong. But yes, I would love to visit all those regions. They're very beautiful.
I will. I can appreciate that. I too am not a fan of the beaches, but I can get behind the metropolitan areas. That's where I thrive. So cute. Houston. So Houston, obviously, this being your freshman year of college, you got to experience college in a way that most other people have not had the experience or had the opportunity to experience, and hopefully will not have to have the opportunity. Hopefully, will not have to experience in the future. And that being, experiencing college during a global pandemic. So I'm curious, what do you think is the one thing that you're looking forward to in a post-COVID UGA?
Well, not having to put on a mask when I go through my lobby is pretty nice. But also, there's a big thing about having the online classes and everything like that. And especially, as a theater major, my classes, especially last semester, were very involved because I took acting 1 last semester and it was all on Zoom. And so acting is a very physical thing. And so next semester they're supposed to open everything back up, and I'm taking like acting 2 and pretty much just other classes in general. Like it'll be great to have that experience of, being in the classroom and being able to learn properly, I guess.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Actually, on that note, this has nothing to do with this show, but I am going to use it just to promote something. Also, you're a theater major, so I can say this to you because it applies to you. Houston, if you're in town for May, or any UGA student who is watching this who will still be a student in May, I highly recommend that you take Kristen Kundert's Meisner class for the Maymester. I was just talking about this today. I know that they still have open seats, and it's the single, like, you will not regret taking this class. It's the best acting class I've taken in 4 years of college. So,
I remember talking about that with Shannon Weaver.
Yes.
Great
Shout
guy.
out to Shannon.
Love Shannon.
Yeah. Anyone watching, if you get the chance, take Kristen's Meisner class. Highly recommend it. But yeah. All right, well, awesome. Well, okay, so Houston, so you're an actor, you're a performer, aspiring voice actor. So one thing that I'm curious about with really any actor, or performer or artist for that matter, is oftentimes we get stuck in one medium, we get stuck in one method of doing things constantly. And Houston, I'm curious, what is one medium? And I'll expand that to what is one job that you have not worked in / worked with yet that you are absolutely dying to work in eventually?
Well, I would love to voice act for animated movies. I think that'd be really cool. And like whether it's like American films or anime and whatnot. I think that's something that would be really cool because I love watching. There's the YouTube videos of the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and it shows like the actors in the booth doing the character lines, and I just think, yeah, that'd be really cool. And so like I've been a part of a little bit of film, and of course I've been doing stage for a long time now. So I think that would be something that I could move on to.
Yeah, definitely. Also, follow-up question, not entirely related to this question, but do you have a favorite voice actor or someone who really, tickles your fancy?
There's a question. Okay, I will say I do like Sam Witwer is his name.
Yes. Quality voice actor.
I love him. And you go back and watch old movies, and he's just there as like a side character. It's like, that's him. But no, for those who don't know, Sam Witwer, he did work for the Clone Wars TV show, Star Wars. And as well as he was in the Force Unleashed Star Wars game, he was the main character. So he's a guy that I really like him.
He's incredible. If you ever watch Star Wars Rebels and you, like many other people, fell in love with that scream of Kenobi,
yeah,
that would be Sam Witwer.
He is a talent.
Yeah. All right. So Houston. So we talked about what's one medium that you absolutely are dying to work in, and I'm curious. Flip side of that, what's one medium that you absolutely do not want to work in? I will also say, choose your words carefully because you never have any clue who's going to see this.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Be like, oh, well, someone will hear my response and be like, oh, well, I was going to offer him a job. Not anymore.
10 years in the future, someone's gonna
they're gonna find it. They're gonna find this audio.
You're gonna be on a short list for something, and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, let me go look up that Houston Vanlandingham guy, and they're gonna find this video from 10 years ago, and they're gonna be like, oh, okay.
So starting off, I would like to say anything that will pay me money.
You would like to do.
I would. You would like to do. But if I had to like rank my job choices, maybe like random commercials would be my unpreferred medium. Like just commercials in general.
I get that.
We all start somewhere though.
I get that. Yeah. Yeah, I actually have found myself thinking about random commercials as well. Yeah, yeah, that's there's some fun to be had. Um, all right, so so Houston, so I'm sorry, I just lost my complete train of thought. Um, but okay, so something I'm always curious about with performers, with artists in general, is what really gets you going. What drives you to do things? And one of my favorite questions to ask people is, who would you say is a person in your life who has had the greatest impact on you in terms of pursuing a career in the arts?
Mhm. Um, well, I would say probably my high school director. Uh,
Mm,
her name was Miss Dorset, but she just got married recently. Oh,
congratulations.
yeah, congratulations to her. We're all very proud of her. Um, like yeah, ever since my freshman year is when I really started getting into theater. I did it eighth grade, but that's it's middle school theater. No one cares about that. But yes, when I got to high school, I was a little freshman, and the way my high school worked was like there were different classes of theater,
Hmm.
and the top one was the company class, and they did like the primary acting and everything. And Miss Dorset, I will say, she is one of the hardest working women I've ever met. Like the difficulties of dealing with students and dealing with the faculty to get support for our theater program. It was always very inspiring to me.
Yeah,
And the way that she was always able to connect with her students, it really motivated me. And from the beginning, I was like, I want to make her proud. Like I want to, I want to do something great so that she can see me one day.
yeah, yeah. I completely understand that. I think for any of us who are in theater, we owe a lot to those high school theater teachers. Shout out to Patty Warts, love you to death. I also know that you don't have Facebook, so we'll still give you a shout out nonetheless.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that, man. I love it. And going off of that, in terms of inspiration that got you to want to perform, would you say that there is one film or play that you feel just really speaks to your desire to perform?
Mhm. Well, to give there was one show I did where as I was doing it, I was like, yeah, this is what it means to have the craft of an actor. And it's my favorite show that I've ever done, and it was Hamlet.
Mm,
My junior year, we did a production of Hamlet, and it was really cool because we changed up the time period of it. It was like a future dystopian type Hamlet thing, and it was really cool. We had our Greek chorus in the background. They were like the rebels fighting against like the tyrannical government type thing, and they had like all these steampunk costumes and whatever. But I digress. Um, why why it drove me to perform because well, spoiler alert, I was Hamlet. Um, as I was doing it, I before the audition, I was like, this is going to be a lot of work for whoever has to be Hamlet because even though we were doing a cutting of it, 90% of the dialogue was just Hamlet talking.
hmm.
And that's what Hamlet is. And so I was like, do I really want to do that? And so, I auditioned, I went into it, said I'm gonna be okay if I don't get the lead in this time because it's a commitment. But I got it. And I was like, okay, to make this good, I'm going to have to give it my all. And learning the dialogue for it is only a small part of it. But learning all those lines, because Shakespearean is very hard to learn.
Hmm.
And there was a week straight, a school week, where when I got home from school, I memorized lines, I ate, I went to bed that entire week. And that was
Yeah.
what I had to do. And the payoff I felt was tremendous. Like feeling it as I was on stage, acting it out. And it was a great experience. And like this, the feeling of relief, like when I would walk on stage with for bows, and just knowing like, hey, I did that, and I felt like it was great, and it was my art that I shared with people. And I think that I would choose that one as the epitome of my desire to perform.
Yeah, yeah, man, I love that. I love that. Um, yeah, I completely get where you're coming from on that. Um, all right, so sticking with that, and I love the fact that you brought up that with something like with something like Hamlet or Shakespeare in general, you can do a lot with it. I recently was doing research on an adaptation of a show that I'm hoping to direct, and part of it led me to find some really interesting adaptations of Shakespearean work of that nature. And there's some interesting ones. But kind of going off of that, in terms of interesting adaptations, I'm curious. Houston, do you have a dream role in a show that you would love to do the gender bent version of it?
Mm, that's a good one because usually, like when you think of roles, like theater is very particular.
I'm
Like if you go
very
play,
curious as to what it is if you do have one.
yes, I would love to be a male. Uh, Legally Blonde would be great as a gender band. I
Okay,
could
okay.
I could be Elijah Woods. That would be me.
Yeah, I'd see that too. Tell me, are you prepared to have the longest note on Broadway? Because I believe that L's note at the end of So Much Better is the longest note that's held on Broadway, or I
Yeah.
believe it's close to it.
Well, all that work we did with Miss Cindy was not for nothing during. So I'm up to the challenge.
All right, all right. I would love to see it. I would honestly love to
Yes.
see the Elijah Woods version of it. Good Lord, Houston. All right. So now Houston, okay, so talking about interesting versions of plays or films or what have you. So as I was saying earlier, I was doing some research on random adaptations of Shakespearean plays
Oh,
and things of that nature. And one of the things that I found was basically taking a D&D approach to everything. So like they did a D&D version of Julius Caesar, and so Caesar was like a necromancer. Brutus and Antony were both trolls. It was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was weird as all get out, but I loved it. And Houston, that is my long wraparound way of segueing into this question, which is, Houston, one of the things that we've done since Hunchback sadly met its end is we are both in a D&D campaign with a bunch of members of the cast, playing the incredible characters of Steve and Schmebulok. Steve and Schmebulok, we have some fun times there. But
yes, we party very well.
we party incredibly well as our characters in D&D. But Houston, I want to know, what do you think role-playing games like D&D bring to an actor's repertoire? And I know that Ben Tankersley is watching this show right now, and Ben, I would also love to hear your thoughts on it in the chat.
Well, I say definitely one of the biggest things I think about is the improv element.
Yes.
Especially if you're DMing, because you can plan it out to an extent, but you can't account for everything because, especially in our case, you have party members that will goof off and not follow the story, and you have to go with the punches. Yeah,
Like
and
me.
I'm sure Ethan would attest because we get very off topic.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think the element that it brings to an actor is, if you embody the character, because if you're playing D&D, you're not really having fun unless you're getting into character.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're just playing like, yeah, I'm gonna roll to hit, I guess. Yeah. No, you gotta be like, yeah. I'm going to cast this burning flame spell onto the enemy, and you're like, or I cast Crown of Madness on my own teammate. Yeah, that type of thing. And so, yeah, you gotta have fun with it, and that's what acting is. That's why it's called a play, because you play. You know, whether even if it's a tragedy or comedy, you have to, you have to make it your own. I'd say would be the biggest thing.
Yeah,
Add
man.
that element of realism to it.
I will point out that Ben Tankersley concurs with you in saying that improv and learning how to really be your character. My favorite thing is it goes along with learning how to be in character. I love exploring aspects of my personality that I otherwise can't explore in the real world, namely the chaotic side of things. Because every now and then, you just want to throw meteors at things.
Every once in a while.
Just throw meteors. And no one asked for this, but I really wish our party would just let me throw meteors at things.
I know, right?
It will fix a lot of problems.
Or like when you think of a really smart and easy solution to fix a problem, but that doesn't go with the DM's plans. You're like, no, you can't do that. Yeah.
Okay, this is a complete sidebar. I did the first D&D thing I ever did. I did a one shot with some friends of mine, and I came on and literally botched my first opportunity with the characters. I basically just gave a quest, and our DM was like, "Is that all you're gonna do?" And I said, no, there are other party members. They're gonna come and see me soon." And I decided, I'll institute a manhunt for all of our party members, and then proceeded to get killed by having a boat thrown on me.
It happens.
It was good times. My mother conferred that she loves to throw meteors. Thanks, Mom. But yeah. All right, Houston, I got a bunch of questions here. They're really simple.
Okay.
You can give me, but we're gonna get down to brass tacks, okay? And this is about you as a performer. This is about you as a man, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. First things first.
Rapid fire.
Houston, plays or musicals?
Musicals.
All right.
Do I need to elaborate, or are we moving?
You can give a short elaboration.
All right, short elaboration. So musicals, usually when a character sings in a play, it's because they have emotions that they need to express about something, and a song is one of the most expressive mediums of expression that you can do. So I think as someone who is a fan of emotional depth, musicals are the way to go. Or just having fun. Musicals are fun.
I completely agree. I will say I am a play person. Like, yes. That's just me. But also from a money standpoint, musicals make more money. It is what it is. All right, next question: villain or hero?
Villain. Mostly because I view the villain role as a challenge. Because
I agree with that.
You have to make the villain role likable, and that's a very hard thing to do.
You also have to justify their actions in your own head.
You do.
Because, I think Frollo's a great example. Like, no one goes into Frollo with the mindset of Frollo. You have to make him somewhat understandable in your own brain, even though he 100% is irredeemable.
In the end, yeah, he is.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yes. But yeah. All right, great. I also agree, villain over hero always. All right, Houston, this one's gonna hit close to home for both of us. Favorite part about being a bass? I'll answer this question with you.
All right, so my favorite part about being a bass is because the reaction I get from being able to sing such low notes, and even when I talk. Like I find it flattering when people give me compliments on my voice. And my favorite part about being a bass is just singing all that low stuff. It's a good time. There is the little bit of bitterness about never having a lead role in anything.
Oh, well,
But,
that gets me to the next question. Your least favorite part about being a bass?
the tenor privilege that goes on. Yes. Pretty much, yeah. That's the only thing, is that a lot of playwrights don't account for low singers, especially in like contemporary music. Gone are the days when a man can use his full voice and be successful. You have to be high pitched, and that's what people like. That's what sells. So,
Dang, Houston, pulling no punches.
no.
No, you're right though. You're right though. There are very few roles for bass singers in contemporary musicals. The closest I think we get are low baritones, which, I mean, even then, like that doesn't cut it at times.
No, yeah. If you look at the actual like music of what these characters have to sing, it's never that low. Like that's the shock factor that makes Hades from Hades Town so successful, is because people don't think about that. Like a singer going all the way down to a low G, like wah, like down there. And it's people hear it and they're like, wow, that's different. And I like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been trying to learn how to sing Jekyll and Hyde, and there are about 5 high notes that I can't hit, and it sucks. It flat out sucks. Well, okay, so Houston, so we're talking about the fact that you sing bass. We met during Hunchback, and one of the questions that we got that was reinforced by a comment was, could you please sing something in Latin? Now, I know that you said you weren't entirely up for singing in Latin. However, Ben Tankersley, he just requested that you sing some Hellfire.
Can we duet? Yeah.
We'll ignore the word duet.
It's no fun.
Would you mind singing a little bit of Hellfire or some Frollo tunes?
Yeah, I can sing a little bit of it. I can sing.
All right.
I can sing like the beginning of it.
All right, I got you.
Yeah. Okay. If you guys didn't know, like the staging, come on, the choir walks on. It's all dramatic and everything. I walk in behind the choir. I turn my back to the audience. They introduce me. And it goes, I'm sitting, so this is going to be rough. So it goes like, Beata Maria, you know I am a righteous man. Of my virtue I am justly proud. Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. Then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. And that's where I'll leave it.
So, all right. Leave them wanting more.
Wanting more.
Love it. And then the lights go red, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Or it would have been. It would have been awesome.
It still is awesome. We got to have a really fun time working on that show for as long as we did.
Yes.
But yeah. Thank you for that, Houston. Thank you, Ben, for the question and follow-up comments. All right. So Houston, so we've gotten through this whole conversation, and I really just have one last question for you, okay? So you've gone through this entire year of COVID college. That's a term somebody actually should coin, because that works.
COVID college?
COVID college. That's what it is. And I know that for a lot of people, you would just assume forget this year happened, then move on from it. But something that I've been interested in asking people recently is, what do you think you're going to take forward? So, Houston, what would you say that you've done or learned or experienced in your first year of college that you know is going to stay with you through the rest of college and maybe even beyond?
Okay. I would say something I've learned is kind of a bit of independence, or something just that I've gained. kind of, going forward, being away from home for the first year of it, I never really had a particular problem, with homesickness and whatever.
Mhm.
But I think the freedom of, or even the worries of being on my own. I say on my own, and I think that's something that is going to stick with me because, like, next year I'm not living in a dorm anymore. I'm living in an apartment and everything like that. And, it's all the stuff that just comes with, growing up, to be a little cliche. But yeah. And also just the friends that I've made in this first year of college. Like going in, I was like, oh, making friends is going to be hard. There are no like social events to go to. Meeting new people sucks. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, but it does.
It does.
Trying to find places where you fit in is always one of the most difficult parts of life. And I found some good friends, and I'm very happy about that.
As you should be. As you should be. Well, Houston, I love that answer. And that will actually do it for us tonight on the questions. I believe we got through all of them. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions. Thank you, Ben, for pressuring Houston into singing. We love to see it. Always. Houston, did you have a good time, man?
I did have a good time. This is great.
I will say that he is in the same kind of people like Jared Gilstrap, where we kept trying to set this up and I kept misscheduling him. So I do apologize on that end. Yeah. But I am very happy that we finally got it to work out, and I am happy that we had you on. Folks, keep an eye out for this guy, Houston Vanlandingham. He is a quality guy, quality performer, quality bass singer, and we always need more of those.
Need more bass.
I just spilled tea down my shirt, so I'm going to wrap this up really fast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning you to everyone in the comments, to my mom, Hannah Day, Ben Tankersley. Thank y'all so much. Please keep an eye out for everything that Viter Media has coming out. We have new episodes of Sagging the Skeen every Wednesday. This week, I don't know what episode we have coming out, but it's sure to be a good one. I almost guarantee it. But yeah, until next week, I'm Doug Gooden. He's Houston Vanlandingham, and this, y'all, has been the tea.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Y'all have a great week.